Okay, let me show you how you can get this thing started and what you can do with it. Let's install it first. It's pip install Odin Slides. Installation is done. Now let me show you how you can use this tool to draft pretty good presentations. You can use whatever terminal you want. It's a command line tool, so after installation you can invoke it using the command Odin-Slides. Using the -t option, you can specify a PowerPoint file whose template you would like to use. This can be any PowerPoint file whose template you want to use. With -o, you specify a name for this presentation, any name that you want. With -i, you specify an optional input article. This is in case you want to create slides from a Word document, for example. Before we proceed, let me show you very quickly what's inside each of these files so you get an idea what they really are. Let's start with this one that we specified with the -t option. As you can see, it's just a normal pptx file which you want to use as a template. So you want to create your new presentation with the styles and the theme of this presentation. If you click on Slide Master, you will see the different slide layouts. The one which is mainly used as of this moment is the title and content layout. So make sure that whatever you want to use as a template has a title and content layout. That's all for this. Now let's talk about this file. I'll show you what's inside this file so you can get an idea. Let's see what's inside. It's a Word document. It's my PhD thesis. As you can see, it's very comprehensive and it has everything, so it's not cherry-picked. I'll just scroll down quickly so you can see that it has many chapters and many sections. It's around 170 something pages. I've chosen this document for this video to demonstrate that you can draft pretty good presentations using documents which can be quite big. As I mentioned earlier, this one, as you can see, is around 170 pages. Okay, by now you have a better idea what the files that we specified as part of our command options are. Now let's get back to the console and show you how to draft slides using this tool. Okay, I'll run the command with the options that I showed you earlier. It starts loading the document. If your Word document is big, it will be broken down into chunks, and each chunk will be summarized so that the whole thing can comfortably fit inside a small portion of a 16K LLM context. This feature enables you to create presentations based on Word documents which might be hundreds of pages. Bear in mind that this is optional, so you don't need to have an input article. You can create presentations from scratch. But we often find ourselves in circumstances when we want to create slides to present a work that we have done, and usually that work is well documented, and using this feature you can create slides from the document that you have. Something else that I forgot to mention and just remembered is that before using this tool you need to set the API key of your LLM service provider as an environment variable. If you don't do that, you will get an error which will tell you that the environment variable is not set. So yeah, just do that before running this tool. Also, as a general advice, make sure that you put usage limit for your API keys. Do not use the same key for all applications, and frequently rotate the keys. Okay, the 170 pages of the Word document have been successfully summarized and loaded into the context. So now we can start making slides based on that document. Let's see how. You can see that it's asking for a prompt. I'll start easy and just specify the number of slides that I wanted to make for me. I'll type make 10 slides. How long this takes depends on what you have exactly asked and how much content it is generating for you. So it can be quite short or a bit long depending on the nature of your prompt. It made 10 slides as we asked based on my PhD thesis. I'll quickly go through the slides so you can just have a look and see what it created for us. We will talk about design later, but just to give you a quick taste on how you can change the design, we can have a quick look at designer here, and you can use it to quickly change the design of whichever slide you want. The reason that I'll talk about this later and not now is that the focus of Odin Slides is content. So the best strategy to use the tool would be to use it to get a good enough comprehensive draft of your presentation. Then take it from there and make design adjustments, add photos, figures, whatever you want later on manually. If you do manual modifications to the PPTX file, as long as those modifications are down to the text of the slides, they will be automatically detected and adopted by Odin Slides, but not for design changes. So keep your design changes and the use of the designer for the end when you already have a good enough draft. In the rest of this video, I'll show you how you can use Odin Slides to get that good enough draft. Let's see what else we can do with the tool. Let's say you want to add something to the introduction slide. You can achieve this by prompting Odin Slides to make the necessary changes for you. What I have in mind is that I would like to rephrase the introduction slide to include certain information. It's processing the prompt now, and here we go. As you can see, the introduction slide is rephrased to reflect the changes that we asked. Now, a useful feature that I would like to show you is the ability to undo changes. You might find yourself in circumstances where you're not happy with the result. You asked the tool to do something, it did something, but you're not happy with the result. So you can easily undo the changes by typing -1. You see that the introduction slide is back to what it was before. Let's now see what are the elements that Odin Slides can modify for you. One is this one, title. The other one is called content, which is what you see in the main body of your slides. And the third one is right here, the presentation transcript. Transcript is optional. You might not always need transcripts for your presentations, but in case you need them, you can ask Odin Slides to generate transcripts for you. This can be useful if you think that you would need an example to show you how to present the slides. In that case, you might benefit from transcript. Obviously, if you are presenting your own work and the work is recent and your language and communication skills are good, you might not really need a transcript. But if the work is not recent and you might have forgotten some aspects of it, this can serve as a good reminder on certain things that you might not recall. If you need one, you better do it at the end when you already have a good enough draft. Okay, it's done. Let me show you. As I'll try to show you now, yeah, as you can see, for each slide, it generated an example on how to present that slide. So as you can see, all slides have their corresponding transcript. Again, this is something which is optional, and if you want to have it, you better create it at the end when you already have a good enough draft. That's the best time to create this. Whenever you need to remove transcripts, you can just ask the tool to remove the transcripts for you. In our particular scenario, we could just use -1 to roll back, but I don't want to do that because I want to show you that you can also ask Odin to remove the transcripts for you. So here I'll just prompt that I don't need the transcripts, and I'll ask it to remove the transcripts from all the slides for me. My general advice on this matter would be not to have transcripts unless you need them. And if you need them, try to generate them at the end when you already have a good enough draft. It's a good feature to have though, because it can serve as a quick reminder on some of the concepts in some slides that you might have forgotten. Okay, it's done. Now I'll show you that the transcripts are no longer there. Another useful feature that I would like to talk about is the ability to save a session and resume from a previously saved session. Let's see how we do that. Whenever you exit Odin Slides, it will automatically save the session to a session file. You can resume a previously saved session simply by specifying the -s option and specifying the path to the session file to use. This way, it loads the saved session, and as you can see, we can pick up where we left off. It is really a good feature to have. Okay, let's see some more tricks and modify our presentation further. Say you want to add one more slide after the introduction slide to give an agenda, for example. Let's see how we can achieve this using Odin Slides. I will simply prompt Odin Slides to add an agenda after slide 1. It understands slide numbers very well, so you can always use slide numbers to refer to the slide which you want to rephrase or update. Here you go, we can see our agenda. Later on at the end, when you have a good enough draft, of course you can always use the designer to change the design of any slide and make it look better. Let's try something new now. Say there is a particular slide which you think is too crowded. You would like to break it into two parts, or it might have certain information inside it which you think deserves a separate slide on its own. So let's see how to do this. I'm going to ask Odin to break the slide number 6 into two parts and put the evaluation on the second part. Let's see. Yeah, the result is ready, and as you can see, we have a separate slide for evaluation results, and slide number 6 basically is broken into two parts. This is also a good opportunity to highlight that the focus of Odin is text. So if there are figures that you would like to add to your slides, you better do that at the end when you have a good enough draft. Okay, let's do something similar also for slide number 4. I'll now navigate to slide number 4. I would like to expand this into two slides. Similar to what we did before, I'll simply ask Odin to break slide number 4 into two slides. This time I would like it to be a little bit more detailed. You can be creative with your prompts and try different things, and if you don't like the results, remember that you can always roll back with just -1. Let's see how this one will turn out to be. Okay, I'll now navigate to slide number 4. Yeah, as you can see, it's been broken down into two parts, and it is pretty detailed as we asked. As I said before, you can always, if you don't like the result, you can always roll back. But sometimes the results are okay, and you might feel that there's a small thing missing, which doesn't really require rolling back, but you can simply ask Odin to edit it further. Let's try that now. I will now ask Odin to update these two slides to include the information that I want to highlight further. I would suggest to always make good use of slide numbers when you want to refer to particular slides to update. Do not rely on Odin remembering your previous prompts. You might end up confusing yourself or Odin. Let's see how this one will turn out to be. Here we go. Yeah, as you can see, it added the details about the data sets. This is the information which I wanted to add to this evaluation. Also bear in mind that these two slides are very detailed because we asked for it. And of course you can always ask Odin to rephrase and shorten things for you. This is exactly what I'm going to do now for slide number 5. I will prompt it to update slide number 5 to contain only the evaluation. Let's see how this will turn out to be. I will navigate to slide number 5 now. Yeah, as you can see, the bullet points which were not about evaluation are omitted from the slide. It's really up to you and your creativity what prompts you give to Odin. You can ask Odin to make any changes that you want. By now, you might be curious that how much all this have cost me so far. So let's have a look. The last column is what you should be looking at. This includes everything that you have seen in this video today, and even more, because before I start recording the video, I was doing some more tests and preparations. It's about 50 cents, and the bulk of it is because we are working with a pretty big context, which includes my entire PhD thesis, which, as I showed you, was around 170 pages. Obviously, if your input document is smaller, or you're not using an input document, you're making presentation from scratch, your costs are going to be a small fraction of what you see here. The features which I demonstrated today also help you save costs significantly. Okay, so far I have shown you how to make slides based on an input document. But as I said, that's optional, and you can also make slides from scratch. Let's see how to do that. It's a no-brainer. Everything is exactly as I demonstrated before. Just here you do not need to supply an input document. However, since there is no input document loaded into the context, you better be a little bit more specific with your first prompt. So at least you let Odin know you want to make slides about what. So what I did here is that I asked Odin to make 10 slides about climate change, and I'm expecting it to make a presentation which has 10 slides about climate change. So let's see how it will turn out to be. Something to consider here is that before that you were using an input document, your presentation would be unique to you and your document. But here that you chose not to use an input document, others may also do the same thing. So if you want your presentation to stand out, you better be a lot more creative with your prompts when you're not using an input document. Okay, here it is, our 10 slides about climate change. I'll just quickly go through them. It's a good opportunity to show you some tricks with the designer now. As I explained earlier, this is something that you can consider doing after you have a good enough draft. Okay, let's use designer to make some design changes. It automatically suggests you some designs and styles. You can look through them and choose whatever catches your eyes. I'll show you a few of them and eventually choose something. Let's see this one, for example. Or this one perhaps is better, or maybe, yeah, this one looks better for the introduction slide. For the second slide, we can choose something which has relevant photos as well. As you can see, the photos are also relevant to the content. Let's do the same thing for perhaps the next slide as well. So my point here is that in terms of design and styles, you have pretty good options. That's why it's important to focus on getting a good draft first, and then later on you can apply whatever style changes and design changes that you want pretty easily without any issues. That's why my advice is to use Odin Slides to get that good enough draft first, and once you're happy with the content of your draft, then you can proceed to make further changes, revise it further, add some figures, and make design changes, whatever you may. With this, I think we can conclude this demonstration. I tried to cover everything that you might need to know about Odin Slides in this video, and any questions that you might have, I tried to include them in the demonstration. I wish you all happy presenting.